Another victory morning. Come on in, folks. Grab your espressos. We got a little special treat today. The breakfast buffet. Little French toast. Take it easy now. Only one slice, guys. Hey, only one slice. French toast is packing. Only one slice. Let's tweet out that we're live and let's get down to business. That's what I just said. That's a great song. What's the name of that song? Never Easy by Maddie McGuire. Maddie, you got a banger on your hands, brother. Maddie, that was a special one. So the OnlyFans for members win. We're weighing all of our options. We're weighing all of our options. Body pillows. I love doing coke and chilling with Slightly. Okay. It's a dangerous game, brother. I want to pull up something real quick. Let me get in my nerd shit. Let me get deep in my nerd bag here. Marcel with the $9.99. As I sit in my office waiting for my Wednesday meeting, I get to vibe with the groovy Slightly Biased. Slightly based, as always, here on 97 points, slightly FM. Thank you very much, Marcel, for your kind contribution to the program. I didn't realize how mean TNT was until last night when they told Luka to man up from the injury and not Ant. Well, they always say that. That's like Shaq's thing. He always says, man up. Get some icy hot. Man up. London Hoops with the 199. Pels look a mess. We need to try to get Trey out of there. Trey, Herb. Shit. We'll take it. All right. I just want to see where this 4-game stretch ranks for Luka Doncic. Just in terms of efficiency. Because I feel like we're in one of the worst stretches of his career. I mean, rarely do you see him have. The game against the Suns probably takes a little away, but 36% on opening night, 48%, 22%, 37%. Hey, Sally Bias. I don't know what time do you have available for members content, but I thought some preview for incoming Mavs games would be fine, and maybe a weekly power ranking update preview of incoming hype games. Well, we kind of did that already on here. Still thinking about it. Daily power rankings. Let's do hourly power rankings. Huh? After the first quarter last night, I think the Timberwolves are the best team in the league. We're going to knock the Mavs down a little bit. After the second quarter, we're going to move the Mavs up. Daily top 100. That would be funny. All right, 4-game stretch for Luka Doncic, where he is attempted. Let's do some math here, guys. 25 plus 25. That's 50. Plus 22. 72. Plus 27. 98. Let's just say 90 shots. 90 field goal attempts. Where he has shot under 37%. I mean, I'm sure we've had a few. But I'm just interested to see. And you know what? He's 26% from 3 right now. So let's add 3s in there. It's been, 4 games? So let's just say 25 3-point attempts. Well, there you have it. This is the worst shooting stretch of his career. I mean, we definitely... We definitely juiced the criteria. I mean, let's knock it down maybe a tiny bit. 90 field goal attempts is a lot. Let's maybe just go 80. In 4 games, that's 20 shots a game. Let's get this down to 20. That's 5 attempts a game. Maybe we get more. Okay, we get a few more. Rookie season, March. And then a stretch in January in 2022. Tyler with the $4.99. The tides have turned in Colorado. Now these stats from Jokic are godly, while Luka stat padded 2 years ago. Pelicans lost my 6-bet parlay. Ooh, that's sad, that last part. Yeah, I need you guys to mentally prepare. And look, the way Luka's played so far this season, he's not at an MVP level currently this year. But I need you guys to be prepared for a mid-ass Nuggets team where Jokic puts up absurd stats, and we start to hear that MVP hype. I need you guys to be mentally prepared for it. I just want to put that out there, okay? Starting to get worried about the Cowboys Super Bowl chances. Nah, man, this is our year. Not worried at all, man. This is our year. So even then, this is actually, even when we knock down those numbers, this is still the worst shooting stretch of Luka's career. I guess not by true shooting percentage, but by field goal percentage it is. All right. Okay, keep that in the back of your brain. Keep that in the back of your brain. All right, today, I'm not even going to tweet out that I'm live. I don't like spamming my timeline with 3 links a day. I don't know. I'm just going to experiment and see if it even matters. I always wonder, how much does it matter me tweeting out that I'm live? Probably not much. If you're watching this back, because you're like, dude, what the fuck? You didn't tweet out that you're live. Please reach out to me. And I'll take that into consideration. All right, let's get into it. I'm not going to spend today talking about like going over each game. Instead, we're going to do some React content. Well, you know we haven't done it in a long time, and I want to do it really quickly here. I want to do this really quickly here. We haven't done the streaks game in a long time. I haven't gotten 10 right ever, or maybe I got it right once, and this is the time that ends. Who's the last professional New York sports team to win a championship? Okay, well, I don't know what their football clubs got going on, but we know this is the Liberty. That's an easy one right off the gate. The only one NBA team has blown a 3-1 lead in the finals. That's the Warriors. I did a video project. Helped Nick out with the video project on that earlier this summer. My God, LeBron. Only one NBA team has completed a 3-1 comeback in the finals. Well, speak of the devil. LeBron. The Service Academy is undefeated and ranked number 21 in the college football AP 25 poll. Navy just lost. It has to be Army, right? Or is it Air Force? It's Army. It has to be Army. Okay. College football questions? Yikes. Which of these players never won an NFL MVP award? Fuck. Randall Cunningham. Yes! I don't even know who that is. I'm going to be honest with you. No one in modern MLB lost more games in one season than this team. That's the White Sox this year. All right, we're cruising. We're cruising. From 1997 to 2021, this NBA team didn't win a single series. Are you fucking shitting me, man? Oh. Hurricanes. No, I was going to guess the Flames. Don't tell me it's the Flames. Okay, I was going to get it wrong anyways. What is that? That is garbage, man. Jesus. Braden, 23 months, slightly ball knower, slightly ball enjoyer. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get popping. Let's get going. Let's get rolling. Let's get riding. Let's do some riding today, folks. That's and look, if I'm just being brutally honest, I was lucky to even get there. The NFL MVP question stumped me. Just got lucky. Any NBA question we'll get usually. In MLB will usually be okay as well. They're not going to give Luka MVP. I think they're going to do the slow start thing again. I can't even do the Luka MVP stuff until he starts playing like an MVP. Like that's, you guys know, I think that, I think Luka will win the MVP this year, but he has to play like an MVP before we get to that point. All right, folks, it is Wednesday, October 30th, one day away from the spooky day, Halloween, 9:51 a.m. Central Standard Time in the beautiful city of Dallas, Texas. It is a beautiful city, folks. It really is. We have 4 games to go over last night. Honestly, really only going to touch on probably 2 of them. Did not watch a second of the Sacramento Kings Utah Jazz game. Shout out to the Sacramento Kings for their second win of the season. Shout out to the Utah Jazz. They might not win a game. They're 0-4. No, they'll win a game. But, man, it's kind of feels like they might not win a game. No, they'll win a game. I don't know, though. No, they'll win a game. So let's get into some of the games last night. Of course, we have to start by talking about the one, the only, the Dallas Mavericks, a Western Conference Finals rematch in Minnesota. The Mavs win a very impressive Very impressive win for this team. 120-114 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Mavericks coming off the second night of a back-to-back. Not only that, but a second night of a back-to-back with travel. We heard Luka talk about it after the game. A couple other people talked about it after the game that they played the night before. Usually, I thought they tried to get rid of these back-to-backs where you play less than 24 hours after you played originally. I thought they got rid of those, but I guess I'm wrong. But yeah, they finished their game against the Jazz, leave, don't get to Minneapolis until like 3 in the morning, and then they have a basketball game to play at 6:30, and they play very good. 120-114. I guess I say very good, and I do think this team played well, just a really, really solid team game. But it was, we're still waiting for a couple of things to happen. The 3-ball got there, 41% from 3. We're still waiting for this team to have come out the gates firing. In all 4 of their games so far this season, the Mavericks have come out the gates a little bit slowly. In fact, if we were just to go to NBA.com right now and look up the team stats, I'm willing to bet you a decent amount of money that this team is towards the bottom, if not maybe at the bottom, when it comes to offensive rating in the first quarter. It's been a sluggish start to pretty much every single game so far for the Mavericks. I'm about to sneeze, and I'm going to let it rip. That was a weird sounding sneeze. It was because I was talking. I was talking mid-sneeze. I don't know what that one was. That sounded like a good sneeze. Kind of manly. Wow. Okay. Anyways, the Mavericks kind of come out the gate a little bit slowly, but they pick it up, and they picked it up last night. They finished 41% from 3 land. And we were talking about this before we started recording on the stream, that Luka is currently, if you want to look at it through field goal percentage, on probably the worst 4-game shooting stretch of his career to start this season. Through 4 games, he's sitting at 36% from the field, 26% from 3. He has 107 points on 99 shots, 47% true shooting. I mean, no two ways around it. This is one of the more inefficient stretches of Luka's career. There's a couple of reasons for that, I think, and I don't want to get too deep into it. I am making a video about Luka here later today just because he's the biggest troll we've seen in quite some time. I mean, it's fucking hilarious what this guy's got going on, but I think a lot of it is settling for tough middies and just getting some rust. He's not, I don't think he's fully ready to embark on 48 minutes of getting downhill, absorbing contact, getting to the rim, beating guys off the dribble. That's taxing work. And I don't think he's quite ready for that just yet. Not to say that, who knows? Maybe that step back 3 that he hit into the shot clock, 32 feet away from the basket. He's telling everybody, that's what I fucking do after he made it. Maybe that gets him rolling and going in the right direction. Very well could be the case. But it is, I would say it's a pretty good sign for the Mavs that Luka's having a stretch like this to start the season, and you're 3-1. You've had a couple of unimpressive wins for sure, but you're taking care of business. And as I look up these stats, the Mavs are 23rd in offensive rating in the first quarter of games, so not nearly as bad as I was expecting. Their defense has been really good, really all season long, but especially in the first quarter, 102 defensive rating. So even though they're not scoring, they are still getting the job done with their defense. So what does that mean for their second half? What is their second half? Last year, this team was a great second half team. We remember that. I just have to assume this team has been pretty solid so far in the second half. And wouldn't you know it, they're 10th in net rating. That's not what I was expecting. So I was hyping that up for nothing. Sorry about that. Anyways, really impressive win for this Dallas Mavericks basketball team. Kyrie Irving, 35 points. He was phenomenal. Aggressive, assertive, getting to his spot, attacking the drops, whatever the case might be. I said this on Locked On last night, but whenever he gets going, those little mid-range pull-up jumpers, those little elbow jumpers, they just feel like layups. It just feels like it just feels like they, are automatic. It's incredible. He was phenomenal last night. And top to bottom, PJ Washington has had 2 really, really good games in a row for this Mavericks team. All over the court, defensively, making plays. Only 1 steal in this game, but, just being what the Mavericks wanted him to be as a defender, this big 4 who's physical, who's big-bodied, who's strong, and you just feel his size whenever he's out on the court. Oh, you feel his size. Yeah, I know what I fucking said. You feel his size whenever he's on the basketball court. So kudos to him, man. He's been playing some really, really good basketball. This team is a second half in a lot of ways. Second half of the game merchants, second half of the season merchants, second half of the series merchants. Yeah, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong. They like settling in. They do. They like feeling out the game. You know, they're like a boxer in a lot of ways. Klay Thompson only 7 shots in this game. They were shutting that off, and you could see how that's actually exciting. How the Timberwolves said, we're shutting this Klay valve off. You know, we're not letting Klay shoot a bunch of threes. And even some of the threes Klay got up were tough shots. We're not letting Klay see some threes go down. You know, you also have to take away the roll. So now all of a sudden so you're taking away Klay Thompson. You're taking away the rolls, the pick and roll guys. Now, what does that mean for Luka and Kyrie? Those guys get to operate in space? Well, good luck. And Kyrie picked him apart last night. And Luka, down the stretch, when his team really needed him, hit some very, very clutch shots. So, hey, beautiful. They were face guarding Klay all the time. Yeah. You see the ant numbers with Klay on him? No. Was Klay clamping him? No, yeah. Klay's not somebody who's going to average 20 points a game. I saw Chuck said that last night. That's not going to happen. Okay. It just won't. I cannot ever imagine this Mavericks team generating 3 different 20-point per game scores. You know, they'll have 2 with Luka and Kyrie. I cannot envision a world in which there's a third added into that mix. And it will not be Klay. But that's okay, though. That's all right. The Mavs bigs were great again last night. Daniel Gafford had his best game of the early season, 14 points, 6 of 6 from the field. Derek Lively, 2 of 3. So those two combined to go 8 of 9. He had 5 points. Derek Lively was awesome again last night. 4 offensive rebounds. He's averaging 4 offensive rebounds a game. I mean, that opens up so many things for this Dallas Mavericks team. They just look like a very well-rounded basketball team so far to start the season. Najee Marshall made some plays defensively, and Quentin Grimes did some things as well. And Spencer Dinwiddie, I thought, looked pretty good in his minutes despite the fact that he was 1 of 5. So a lot of things going right for the Dallas Mavericks. They also only turned the ball over 9 times, and they forced 20 turnovers. And that was kind of the story of the game. They take 93 shots compared to the Timberwolves' 77. So just typically, you take 15, 16 more shots than the other team, you have a very good chance of winning the basketball game, and that's what the Dallas Mavericks did. So kudos. Good job, boys. Good job. That was absolutely the game. And let's talk about the Timberwolves a little bit here. So last year, they were the best defensive team. They're one of the best defensive teams we've seen in a long, long time. They got comparisons to the Detroit Pistons, like the best defense since the Pistons. That's what people were saying. And then, of course, the playoffs came around, and they had some really, really great defensive performances in the postseason. What they did to Phoenix was disgusting. The defense they played at times against the Nuggets was disgusting. And then the Mavericks walked into town and just shitted on them. I mean, just full disclosure, straight up, shitted all over them, right? And so far this year, their defense, and this is kind of difficult to believe, but their defense is struggling out the gate. 112 defensive rating. 13th in the NBA. We're 4 games into the season. Okay. Just on the other end, Mavericks top 10 in defense so far. You like to see that. 13th in offense. I thought the defensive rating would be a little bit better, but you got some teams that don't belong here in the top 10 that are just kind of fucking around and hanging around a little bit. It'll even itself out. But this Timberwolves team, and this isn't just based off this Mavericks team. This has just been from what I've seen watching them so far this season. They don't pack the same punch defensively, really. Cat gave them this level of size that was intimidating. Julius Randle's a big physical player as well, but defensively, you don't really feel that, right? You don't really feel that the way you felt the size when Cat was on the court next to Rudy Gobert. And Rudy Gobert, for some reason, the Dallas Mavericks just, lick their fingers whenever they see Rudy Gobert. They lick their chops. They lick their lips. What other body parts do they lick? I don't know. They lick them. They love seeing Rudy Gobert walk into that building. They love it. Mike Conley looks old. I mean, it makes me feel sad because I love Mike Conley. He's one of my favorite players in the history of the sport. But he looks old out there, and it shows. And Jaden McDaniels has really struggled so far to start this season. You guys know I've never been like I've I'm not as bullish on Jaden McDaniels as pretty much anybody else. I'm still waiting. I still feel like Jaden McDaniels is a pure hypothetical player. Like, he's a good defender. He's a great defender even, obviously. I would not put him in the elite upper echelon as guys like Herb Jones, right? Or Alex Cruz when it comes to perimeter defense. I would not put him up there, okay? And offensively, he's just a complete and total shit show, in my opinion. I mean, you're really just making on, like, you're really just putting way too much into the one good game he has every 4 or 5. Yeah, Nickeil Alexander-Walker's a good player. And Dante DiVincenzo's is a good player on the perimeter, but they're not as big anymore. And it really shows. And Kyle Anderson was kind of a big departure for them as well. He was big for them in the regular season. So, defensively, this Timberwolves team won't be as elite as they were last year, I don't think. So that means their offense has to be a little bit better. And it will. I mean, you see the 3-point barrage that they went on. They shot 48% from 3. I went back and I looked. And I was like, how often is it that a team puts up, like 39 threes, hits them at a 48% clip, and loses? Because I thought we'd be talking about something like historic last night. And it's happened like 20 times over the course of NBA history. So pretty rare. But as you can imagine, all 20 of those times have happened in the last 3 or 4 years, as the 3-point volume has increased dramatically. But for this Timberwolves team, 20 turnovers. This was a problem that plagued them last year. This was a problem that really plagued them in the Western Conference Finals. It starts, the head of the snake, Anthony Edwards. 5 turnovers in this game. He has a turnover problem. He does. It's what's preventing him from getting to that next level. Everybody wants Anthony Edwards to be an MVP candidate. Everyone wants him to be a top 5 guy in the league. We saw in the first quarter, 26 points in the first quarter of the game, just bombing threes. Nobody's attempting more threes per game currently than Anthony Edwards. He's up to 13.3 3-point attempts a game. 13.3. I mean, that's insanity, man. That's crazy. And he's knocking him down at a high clip as well. So if that holds, you got to give him some props. I did misspeak. He's not averaging the most 3-point attempts per game. Who is then? He has shot 53 threes, which is the highest in the league so far to start the season. Who is shooting more threes than that? 13.3? Who's putting up more? Hield? Is Buddy Hield really putting up more than 13 threes a game? No, he's at 9. He's at 9. There's no way Buddy Hield's putting up that many threes. Maybe Steph? No, it's not Steph. Okay, well, maybe they don't have the per game stuff there yet. But anyways, great first quarter scoring-wise for Anthony Edwards, but 5 turnovers in this game. It's a problem for this team. The Mavericks took advantage of these turnovers, and you see it down the stretch, right, of games like this, where the Mavericks are a basketball team that will not turn the ball over. Only 9 turnovers. They know what they want to be in crunch time. They have 2 guys that get to their spots every single time, and Luka and Kyrie. And the Timberwolves are still waiting to get to that point, and they will not be a serious championship contender until they do. That's just the reality. So a nice win for the Mavs. Timberwolves are going to be a very good basketball team. They're going to be a very, very good basketball team. They're still figuring some stuff out, which is what makes this win more impressive for the Mavericks, is that they're still figuring stuff out as well. And they're 3-1 and just had a very impressive win on the road. Ant versus D-Live leaves Ant scared to even face up with him. Yeah, Derek Lively was incredible in this game. So anyways, nice win for the Mavericks. I'll be dropping a video later about Luka Doncic because he's just fucking hysterically funny. Moving on, the other TNT game. Warriors and the Pelicans. My God, the Warriors, man. Are we ready to really pay attention to this or what? Because I kind of wrote it off. They played a few cupcake teams to start the season. They're just red hot from 3, and that can happen, and it could skew a lot of things. But they're 3-1. I believe I saw they have the 2nd best defense in the NBA currently and the 7th best offense, typically speaking. I'm sorry, that wasn't giving them enough credit. They have the 3rd best offense and the 2nd best defense, as well as the best net rating in the NBA currently at 20.9. I mean, they're blowing teams out in their wins. Typically speaking, that's a recipe for championship contention. Are we ready to go there? No, I'm not. I'm just going to be honest with you. But they've looked really, really good to start this season. This was without Steph Curry last night, who's going to miss a little bit of time with a little ankle injury that he got. Brandon Podziemski is a really good basketball player. 19 points on 8 of 18. But he's just incredibly smart, and he just fits this Warriors system like a glove. I mean, he's a match made in heaven for this Golden State Warriors team. Connective playmaker. Did I say Seth Curry? I meant Steph Curry, obviously. But Brandon Podziemski's been a revelation for this team. Honestly, to the point where it's like, if that draft pick missed, what would this team look like? I'm not entirely sure. That's how good he's been. Buddy Hield, 28 points, 7 of 11 from 3. So this is why I was surprised there was that Clay stat we talked about, that it was the most threes made by a player in the first 4 games on a new team. I was like, Buddy Hield hasn't made more? It feels like every time I tune into a Warriors game, Buddy Hield has 7 threes. And last night, 7 of 11 from 3, 6 of 6 in the second half of the game. Creating for himself off the dribble. He's making plays defensively. I mean, this is the Buddy Hield experience. Full stop. The Buddy Hield experience, you're seeing the good right now. And, you know, it's going to get to the bad. But for the time being, let's appreciate the good. Okay? Let's appreciate the good stuff we've got going with this Buddy Hield experience. And then Lindy Waters off the bench. A plus 26 in 31 minutes. 21 points on 8 of 13, 3 of 7, 4 assists. Now look, you look around the league, guys. Trey Mann starting to make a name for himself with the Hornets. Lindy Waters now with the Golden State Warriors. Josh Giddey is going to put up some good numbers with the Bulls. Is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander holding these guys back? Now, that's just something that we have to monitor. That's just something that we have to talk about. No, I'm just kidding, by the way. Just joking. That's a joke, guys. It's called a joke. Jonathan Kuminga came off the bench in this game. That was kind of like a big deal. I don't know. I saw a Warriors Kirk quote tweeted it. I saw a Warriors fan who was like, man, if Jonathan Kuminga could take 4 threes a game and shoot 36% from 3, he'll be an all-star. And it's like, you know, what? Huh? People always say this about players. It's like, they can be an all-star. Hey, I see your chat. Derrick Jones Jr. or Marshall. Derrick Jones Jr. or Marshall. Derrick Jones Jr. or Marshall. We're going to talk about the same thing every day. The answer to that question is no, so I will not be addressing it anymore. Okay? But G League All-Star? Yeah. Maybe. But anyways, man. The Kuminga stuff. Everybody always does this. He could be an all-star. Like, he could be a sneaky all-star. Sit down and map out the all-stars. Seriously. Sit down and look at who makes the all-star games, especially in the Western Conference. Seawood or Lively. Especially in the Western Conference. Who makes the all-star team? And not only who makes it, who misses it on a year-to-year basis. Guys like Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox missed the all-star game. Kyrie Irving missed the all-star game. And you think Jonathan Kuminga is going to make it? Jamal Murray has never made an all-star game. CJ McCollum has never made an all-star game. No way Jonathan Kuminga makes it, man. I mean, that would be pretty remarkable. So anyways, really impressive win by the Warriors. The Pelicans are just, man, I don't know. I don't know what they've got going on. Seriously. I don't know how much to look into this stuff. They're dealing with injuries. DeJounte Murray's hurt. You had a 30-piece from Zion, 31. Zion's looked good to start the season. He did have 7 turnovers. Brandon Ingram's looked good to start the season as well. He did a 30-piece. Outside of that, nobody scored double digits. Jesus, man. I don't know. I don't know. I picked them to take to be the season from hell. And this is a big problem right here. And teams like this are going to have problems this year. We've already seen this trend where teams are bombing away from 3. We've talked about this ad nauseum. Okay. 22 3-point attempts. 40% from three. That's a good number. But this is a math game. When the Warriors take 46% or 46 threes, when they more than double the threes that you've attempted and nearly triple the amount that you've made, you're not winning. You're not winning the basketball game. This Pelicans team just feels like a time capsule in a lot of ways, of a bygone era of basketball. And it feels like they've been surpassed. And I don't know. 2-2. I feel nothing about this Pelicans team. What do the West standings look like right now? Are we standings watching? Hold on, let's talk about the other games real quick, and then we'll check. We'll see what the standings look like. The Nuggets do it again. The Nuggets do it again. They back-to-back games, back-to-back days. That's really it. The Pelicans are just uninspiring, man. You know this thing about the Pelicans as well. We talk about how high their ceiling is, and I agree. Their ceiling theoretically is high, but maybe we just have to rethink it. Maybe it isn't. Maybe their ceiling isn't high. Maybe we just have overthought it. Pelicans have 6 really good players. I mean, do they? To constitute a really good player, to become a really good player in the NBA, that comes with obviously skill and talent, but also consistency. How many of these great players are actually consistently great over the course of an entire season for the Pelicans? No point guard or no center. I do agree. It's tough to take too much away because they go out and get DeJounte Murray because they desperately need a point guard, and then he's hurt one game into the season. So I agree with you on that front. The Nuggets, this was a back-to-back, right? Weren't the Nuggets on the second night of a back-to-back on this hilarious game? Back-to-back games, I believe on back-to-back days, where they are in overtime against a team that they have no business being in overtime against. This was the second night of a back-to-back. So, Monday night against the Raptors, overtime. The Raptors shit all over the court. Embarrassing stuff. 40 minutes from everybody in the starting five. 3 games into the season. One night later, 24 hours later, overtime against the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets shit all over the court. Choke down the stretch. And again, you get 40 minutes from Jokic, 41 from Michael Porter Jr., 39 from Christian Brown. You're running an 8-man, 9-man rotation this early in the season. Second night of back-to-back. 2 overtime games. That's not a recipe for success. I'll still stay here. I'll stay on this. The Nuggets are figuring stuff out on the fly here. They got to persevere. And yes, it's ugly. Yes, it's not encouraging that they're going to overtime against the Raptors, against the Nets, 2 teams we think are going to be at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. But they're still winning those games. They're 2-2. Regroup. I hope that some guys get hot. I hope that Jamal Murray gets going. He was pretty good in this game last night. And just hope that you can persevere. Okay? Just hope that you can persevere. I'm not so sure, man. I don't think their ceiling's very high. And that is what it is. That's not like a crazy statement to make. This depth is just... And Russ had his best game of his career for the Nuggets so far. Of his Nuggets career. 22 points, 5 of 12, 5 assists. 10 of 10 from the free throw line. 2 of 2 from 3. How about that? Is he turning it? Is he getting going? But they were very fortunate to win this game. I mean, missed free throws from the Nets. Dorian Finney-Smith missed a wide-open corner 3 at the end of regulation that would have won it. They were fortunate to win this one. They were fortunate to win the Raptors one. you're not encouraged at all by what you've seen, but, give it some time. Give it some time. Which is scary to say because it's not like they're integrating a bunch of new pieces into their starting five. Like we say the Timberwolves, give it some time. Knicks, give it some time. Mavs, give it some time. Nuggets theoretically should be going and rolling. I don't know. The Bucks as well, yeah. I mean, the Bucks have gotten a few pieces along the edges, but they should be rolling as well. And it's been bad. And the vibes on those teams aren't good? No, they're not. All right, let's do this. We talked about the games. Let's get into a little react content. I got a couple of things I want to react to. ESPN power rankings. I love power rankings this early in the season, man. I love them. Now, in my opinion, and I'll do my power rankings. I'll do monthly power rankings. I usually wait until like mid-November or the end of November before I really get going. Give us a month and a half or so. But I think early season, if you want power rankings to be fun and enjoyable, it should straight up be hey, you dropped me into this NBA season without any, without any prior knowledge of these teams, without any expectations for these teams. And I'm just simply reacting to what I've seen on the basketball court over the last week or two. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm not factoring in preseason expectations. We know that's not how it works, though. But that's how you make power rankings fun. So let's look at ESPN's very early season power rankings. Four games into the season for all these teams, 3 for a few. Boston Celtics number 1. Yep, that's clear and obvious. This looks like the best team in the league once again. Oklahoma City number 2. Yes, they look very good as well. No complaints there. Now this is where we jump off a little bit. Who should be number 3? These two teams being top 2, no arguments there. It's probably going to be, if we're just basing this off of no expectations heading into the season, just what we've seen on the court, it probably should be the Warriors, if I'm being honest with you. Oh, the Cavs. It'll be the Cavs. And it is the Cavs. Okay. Yeah, they jump up from 10. Cavs are 4-0. Absolutely should be them. They look great. I forgot about the Cavs. My bad, Cleveland. 4-0. They 1,000% deserve to be top 3. Now here's where we get interesting. Is this the Warriors or the Lakers? Oh, it's the Mavericks. Okay. The Mavericks find their way to the top 4. Wow, all right. I'm assuming this win last night against the Timberwolves really propelled them up a little bit. But all right, let's read their little nugget that they got. Tim McMahon. Klay Thompson continues to be one of the NBA's premier shooters after the amicable separation with his splash brother Stephen Curry. Thompson anticipated getting a lot of good looks playing alongside Luka, Doncic, and Kyrie Irving in Dallas, and he hasn't been disappointed during the first week of the season. He shot 45% from three-point range on 11 attempts per game during the Mavs' 3-1 start, averaging 19.7 points. Thompson has stated his determination to get rid of that notion that I'm not the same defender as I once was, and he's also off to a strong start on that end of the court. The Mavs have a 112 defensive efficiency with Thompson on the court this season, 101 when he is off. 101 when he's off? Damn, that's pretty good. 112 when he's on is good, though, as well. All right, Mavs number 4. Can't disagree with that. Got to guess. Let's go Warriors next. It's the Timberwolves. See, so this is where we get the early season, the preseason expectations. Timberwolves at 5-5. They actually move up a couple of spots. I'm actually not going to hate on that. And let me explain why. I think this is going to be a really good team. Julius Randle's been very good so far for them. Anthony Edwards bombing threes and shooting at a high clip has been very interesting. I don't mind them being this high, actually. Lakers jumping up 15 spots to 6 when they're 3-1 is a little interesting. But, again, I'll defend ESPN a little bit here. Those 3 wins against Phoenix, against Minnesota. Who was their third win against? Another good basketball team. Who was it? I'm blanking. The Kings, right? So 3 teams that we expect to be pretty good this season. And their loss was like a down-to-the-wire loss against the Suns. They've looked good so far. AD's looking like a MVP candidate. So, top 6, okay. Suns 7. Suns look very good. The Suns look really good. Now, the center stuff is a problem. Nurkic looks so bad, and I just think over the course of 82 games, that will come back to bite you in the ass. But they look really good. Their offense moves the ball incredibly well. They get good looks. And defensively, they've been digging down as well. Shout out to Ryan Dunn. Yes, Nurkic killed the Mavs, but he's been literally dog shit in every other game that he's played. To the point where he got benched. He got benched for Mason Plumlee in the second half of that game against the Lakers a couple nights ago. Knicks at 8. I wouldn't have them in the top 10 right now. They're 1-2. I don't think it's necessarily fair to some of these other teams, right? Tyler with the 499. Two things. How many shots should Clay get a game? Do you feel like Luka isn't feeding him like he should? Some weird vibes potentially? No, he's getting fed. There's going to be games like last night against the Timberwolves where the opposing team says, hey, Clay's not getting up threes. Like, we can't afford to let Clay see 4 or 5 threes go down. I mean, that's 15 points. We can't afford to have that happen. And part of the reason he came here and part of the reason the team wanted him is to have, like, floor spacing next to Luka and Kyrie. So even if he's not shooting threes or even if he's not, getting up 10 attempts a game, he's still a valuable piece on the court. I would like to see him get around double-digit three-point attempts a game, though. I think that should be the goal. I feel like that should be the goal. So anyway, the Knicks, they're struggling to get going. The offenses look clunky. We talked about them yesterday, a couple days ago, whenever it was. Karl Anthony Towns only got, I think, 8 shots in their last game. Mikal Bridges had a really good first 3 quarters and then was iced out of the game entirely in the fourth. So they're still figuring some stuff out offensively, and I think they'll do it. They're a very talented team, but I can't have them in the top 10 right now. Grizzlies at 9. They're up. Okay. If I'm a Warriors fan, I'm freaking out. Just being honest. I would not have the Grizzlies in the top 10 right now. Absolutely not. Not until I figure out what the hell they've got going on. We talked about it yesterday. They're the best first half team in the NBA by a lot and the worst second half team in the NBA by a lot. I don't know what to take away from this kind of stuff. Magic number 10. All right. The Magic absolutely are better than the Grizzlies. I mean, no doubt about it. They are better than the Memphis Grizzlies. I think, what's up with the Grizzlies? Why is it just like all the national media members are like, we love the Grizzlies. That's our team. We love them. We're going to respect them. Hey, watch out for the Grizzlies. Hey, watch out for the Grizzlies. You have all these other teams that have just been competing at such a high level now for the last 2 years, and the Grizzlies had the season from hell last year. But hey, watch out for the Grizz. Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, man, Luka and Kyrie are going to be crazy this year. I know you get Clay. Hey, watch out for the Grizzlies. No, I heard you. Don't worry. Yeah, dude. Thunder are going to be insane, man. Yeah, they're going to be. Hey, did you hear about the Grizzlies? Yeah, no, I heard you. You did the same thing. I had the Grizzlies in the play-in tournament. Now at the 199, do you see a world where the Magic make the Eastern Conference Finals? Yeah, I could see a world. If their bracket, assuming they don't see the Celtics until the Eastern Conference Finals, yeah. I think so. They've got a really good defense. Paolo, if he gets, if this early season performance from Paolo is kind of what we can expect over the course of the full season. You were hyping the Grizzlies preseason. No, I said the Grizzlies were going to be a good basketball team. Ja Morant absolutely is fun to watch. I would not have them in the top 10 of my power rankings right now. Ahead of the Magic, ahead of the Warriors, who are just manslaughtering teams. The Warriors' schedule has been a little cupcakey, though. All right, so Sixers at 12. They're 1-2. Obviously, this is preseason, stuff here. Embiid and Paul George are not playing tonight. Nick Nurse sounded a little bit annoyed in his press conference about it. But all right, I mean, they're waiting for Joel Embiid and Paul George to come back. You really can't. There's just no way you can judge this team at all right now. Nuggets drop all the way down to 13. Wow, they were 4th. They were 4th in the preseason rankings. They've dropped all the way down to 13th, which I think is fair. Now, I will say, why are the Sixers ahead of them? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I mean, man, the Nuggets being around league average is tough, but that's about right so far. I mean, The vibes in Philly are not what you would want them to be currently. The Bucks drop all the way down to 14. Okay, I'm sorry. Did I say the Nuggets were 14? Nuggets are 13. Bucks down at 14 are 1-3. That's concern. They're the most concerning team in the NBA currently. They are the most concerning team in the league. I would say them or Indiana to me are the teams to start the season where I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Every other team I can sort of forgive some stuff here and there. Hello, son. Every other team I can forgive some stuff here or there. The Bucks and Pacers, I'm like, all right, what is this? Doc Rivers is going to be homeless by Christmas. No, he'll go back to ESPN. He'll pop on the Bill Simmons podcast every other week, and it'll be awful. Doc, I just remember in 2008, you knew Rondo was going to be good, and I wonder, the Pacers, do they know Halliburton's going to be that good? Yeah, Bill, in 2008, Rondo came in and said, this motherfucker's going to play some basketball. And we ended up winning the championship 5 minutes later. Doc, in 2008, it's like, oh my God. We get it. Bill Simmons might be right. We should be looking at Giannis trades. So here's the one reason why. Here's the one reason why the Bucks are one of the main reasons why the Bucks are so concerning to me. Giannis's body language is bad. Him and Dame's chemistry is awful. Awful, awful, awful. They have none. Not only is Giannis's body language bad, but his play on the court is very selfish right now. I mean, just straight up. We want to shit on other guys for being selfish, being ball hogs, whatever. Giannis's play on the court is selfish. Selfish, selfish, selfish. Just something to monitor moving forward. This is bad stuff in Milwaukee. Pelicans at 15, they actually move up a spot. How? Well, let's see. Let's see who's behind them. How did the Pelicans move up? The Clippers have only played 3 games so far. They jumped from 20 to 16. I mean, the Clippers have impressed me a little bit more than the Clippers have impressed me a little bit more than the Pelicans, if we're being honest. Their defense looks good. Pacers dropped from 12 to 17. It's been a tough start to the season for them. 1-3. They've played some close games, so it's not like it's the end of the world, but they've got some stuff they need to figure out. Couldn't you argue the Clippers and Pelicans are playing better than the Nuggets? Yeah. I mean, they take preseason stuff into this, right? They dropped the Nuggets from 4 to 13. So, I mean, they were hard on the Nuggets. The Heat stay at 18. That's where they were previously, 2-1. I was thinking about this last night. I have yet to watch a Heat game. So, tonight, the Heat play. We'll be on playback tonight. We'll keep tabs on the Heat game. I've yet to watch them. I think that's the only team I've yet to watch. Kings dropped 2 spots. Why are they so hard on the Kings? DeMar DeRozan had the honor of lighting the Kings' first beam of the season Monday, and rightfully so. Look, lighting the beam is cool and all. I actually, lighting the beam I'm cool with. I have a problem, and this is just old man yell at cloud thing. The little season gimmicks are fun over the course of a season. I think you have to get rid of them going into the next season. The beam is different, though, because it's a whole fucking thing. They basically built a business around the beam. I mean, the beam is its own entity at this point. But the Thunder, and look, I'm going to say something about the Thunder real quickly here, guys. Bear with me. The Thunder, I don't think they're going to win the championship this year. And let me explain one reason why. I only have one reason why I think this. They still do the post-game interview where they all get there and they all introduce themselves to the post-game interview and then they all start barking. That's not what we want to see, man. You want to be a fucking winner. You want to be a champion. You got to be a cold-blooded killer. And this happened last year. I went to Game 5, Dallas Thunder, 2-2 series. Place was rocking. It was in OKC. Luka, moment the ball tipped off. Killer, you're done. I'm squashing you. This shit's done and over with, right? I was walking out the stadium, friendly banter. I was having friendly banter. People were like, we're going to come to Dallas and win. I was like, you guys don't have a killer yet, man. You guys don't have it yet. What you witnessed tonight was a killer. You guys don't have it. And it's all right. It might get there. A lot of guys don't have it. A lot of teams don't have that killer. The Mavs have that killer. The Celtics have that killer. The Nuggets have that killer. The Bucks have that killer even. Giannis absolutely is. Man, I'm sorry. I don't like the barking thing after the game. It sounds stupid as fuck, but I'm being serious. I look at that and I'm like, man, can you guys get a little bit more serious? I'm sorry. I also think the barking stuff sucks. It's one of the worst gimmicks we've seen in quite some time. And I like the Thunder. I really do. I like all their players. The barking stuff is just, it's not it, man. It's not it. The beam is cool. The beam is sick. Okay, the beam goes up in the air. I see pictures like people on King's Twitter and on King's Reddit and stuff post pictures from around the city of the beam. That shit is actually pretty sick. It's passable because they're so young, but it's very cringe optics-wise. I mean, okay, here's another question. Have we seen a team that's like, what's the word I want to use? Goofy? Because it's endearing, they're having fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. But have we seen a team behave in that manner and win? Like, I'm trying to think. It feels like when you see teams win championships, they've all been through war, and you can kind of see the battle scars, and they're ready to fucking win. They're not barking. They've got scars. They're bleeding. Endearing. Okay, yeah. Because it's not, I'm shitting on them, but it's a fun thing. And they're serious when the game tips off and the game's happening. I'm not saying it that way. They're serious. They're fucking good. Can we get rid of the barking, please? What will it take? Will it take like an embarrassing playoff loss where it's like, all right, guys, let's reel it in, okay? Kings at 19. Hawks at 20. I kind of feel, unfortunately, like this is a bit of a fair ranking for the Hawks. I like them. I think they're good. They're going to be competitive. But, yeah, they're not going to be like a great team. Rockets all the way down to 21. Huh. Okay. Win against the Grizzlies. A win against the Spurs. A loss against the Spurs. A loss against the Hornets. This feels low for the Rockets. Maybe it's not, though. I mean, you look at this, and it's like, damn, these teams are good. The Bulls at 22. Okay. The Spurs at 23. Okay. Does Finn like you? What the hell do you think, man? The Hornets at 24. All right, they're climbing their way up. Raptors at 25. I would probably have them lower, actually. The Nets move up to 26. The Blazers will be terrible. The Pistons at 28. The Jazz at 29, and the Wizards last. The Wizards are so bad, but the Wizards have won a game. The Jazz at 29. They're disappointing to me. 0-4. I thought they'd have a win by this point, man. I really do. I really did. All right, and then we'll close out this. Bleacher Report has an article here that I kind of wanted to take a peek at. One overreaction for every NBA team. We'll just let's skim through it really quickly here to see if it's worth our time. Jalen Johnson. Sound that Jalen Johnson got the bag and followed in John Collins' footstep alarm for the Atlanta Hawks. Oof. Yeah. Jalen Johnson had a very good game a couple nights ago, but yeah, he's had a slow start to the season, to say the least, but this one might be a little too extreme. A little too extreme. Celtics, this year's championship race is already over. I don't know if that's an overreaction. I'm just being honest, man. Cam Thomas is about to make NBA history. All right, what's the history? What's the history here? Let's hear this. Here is every player to average over 30 points per game before their age 24 season. Oh, okay. All right. I don't think Cam Thomas is going to get to 30 points a game. I know he's averaging that right now, or he's at 29.5. I just over the course of a season, I don't think he's going to, averaging 30 is so difficult, man. And he's putting up 21 shots a game. But I don't see it. LaMelo Ball is totally making an All-NBA team. That I can get behind. You can make some more proclamations than this for LaMelo Ball if you want to really get there. Think about the point guards in the Eastern Conference, what we've seen from them so far this season. Where does LaMelo, if he stays healthy and plays around this level over the course of a full season, where is LaMelo in the hierarchy of Eastern Conference point guards? It might surprise you. Just for a frame of reference, here's what LaMelo's averaging 3 games into the season. 31 points per game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. He's attempted 12 threes a game. No, I'll take it a step further than top 4. I'll say 2. Top 4 he's not 4? Yeah. I mean, I would say Brunson number 1, and then I would end the list pretty much. And even then, just being honest, it might be 1. But of course, that's saying that he plays at this level over the course of a full season, which we've never seen in his career. So, but hell of a start. Zach LaVine is better than ever. No, this is not a sponsored post from Clutch Sports. Yeah, Zach LaVine looks really good. And physically, that's the one thing above all else. He looks quick. He looks fast. He looks explosive. So if you're a team that's looking to maybe trade for Zach LaVine, you've really liked what you've seen so far to start the season. If you're the Bulls, you're rubbing your hands together like Birdman. That's exactly what you wanted to see. Cleveland Cavaliers meet the actual second-best team in the Eastern Conference. Ooh, I like it. They're playing great basketball so far, man. While all these other teams are sort of figuring some stuff out around them, the Cavs are just hooping, man. They're still waiting for Strus to come back. And who knows what they can do at the trade deadline. Dallas Mavericks meet the second-best team in the Western Conference. What's the overreaction there? They won the West last year. That's not an overreaction. Give us some more credit than that. That's not an overreaction. That's just a statement. Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets will be a playing team if Nikola Jokic does not win the scoring title. I'm not going to lie. Jokic winning the scoring title would be nuts. Like, that would actually be crazy. That would be so funny. And I would love the Excel spreadsheet mafia. It's going to be pretty funny when they're like, well, he led the league in scoring. He deserves MVP. It's like, wait, no. We did this last year. Well, they're the 6th seed. He led the league in scoring. He's got to be the MVP. No. We did this whole song and dance a year ago. That's not how it goes. The overreaction is that they said we were second, not first. Ooh, maybe. I kind of like these so far. They all have a bit of a positive spin on things. Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons game should end after 3 quarters. That's not an overreaction. That's just truth. Cade Cunningham would be an All-NBA player if their games ended after 3 quarters. He'd be All-NBA. They have to have the worst fourth quarter. They're currently the 4th worst fourth quarter team in the league this season. Golden State Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga should not have bet on himself. I mean, from Kuminga's perspective, maybe this will end up being right. What did he turn down? We don't know the number he turned down, do we? But he wants $30 million a year. There might be a team in restricted free agency that has cap space that might take a shot in the dark there. What is the cap space numbers even looking like, actually? Because even these young teams that typically have cap space, they now have young players that they've given rookie max extensions to that are starting to get that money. So who even has cap space heading into the 2025 offseason? I'm interested in this. Brooklyn has $75 million available. All it takes is a team like Brooklyn to say, yeah, we'll throw you $30 million. The Hornets have $47 million available. The Rockets have $45 million available. I'm assuming they don't pick up Fred VanVleet's option, which I think they probably will. Washington, $40 million. I could see all of these teams giving him $30 million. Houston Rockets. There are too many good players on this team, and yes, this is mostly about Amen Thompson. Yeah, Amen Thompson. I think Amen Thompson's the guy for them. I think he's the guy who's going to be their best player moving forward. He's not going to be like the stuff the stat sheet guy, score a bunch of points. But Amen Thompson is such a good basketball player. They got to figure out ways to get him on the court. Absolutely. Pacers, we are seeing the 2021 Hawks incarnate. Oh, no. Oh, man. This started off positive, but we're starting to shoot from the hip now. Man. You guys think this is true? 2021 Hawks? They got very lucky in their playoff run last year. I will say I'm happy the Mavericks. For a while there was a tiny little stretch, especially when the Mavericks missed the playoffs, where it was like, yeah, the Hawks and the Mavs, these are like these conference finals teams that are just kind of fluky. Pacers fans starting to complain about Rick. They've been sneaky fed up with Rick for quite some time. Clippers, Ivica Zubac is going to win most improved player. Ooh, wow. See, I'm going to push back on this. This is not, to me, what most improved player stands for. And let me say why. Zubac has been a good player in the NBA. Zubac has been a great pick-and-roll player in the NBA. Now, as I'm saying that, I'm looking at his numbers. I mean, we're 3 games into the season. Yeah, I guess if he averages 22 and 14. I guess if he averages 22 and 14 over the course of a season. Yeah, sure. Give him most improved player. Fuck, give him an all-NBA team. If he leads the league in rebounds and averages 23 points, hey, why stop it? Why stop at most improved? Zubac has been hooping. JJ Redick is going to win Coach of the Year. Yeah, I think if the Lakers finish better than people expected, he'll have a good chance. What up, DQ? It's Soj over. We talked about the Nuggets a little bit. They were in here. It said that they were going to be a playing team unless Jokic led the league in scoring. And then we said how funny it would be if Jokic led the league in scoring. JJ Redick is going to win Coach of the Year. If the Lakers are better than people think, then yeah, I could see it. Head coach Taylor Jenkins' rotation is either telltale, unnecessary, confusing as hell, or a combination of all three. Injuries have again noticeably... Okay, I'm just going to read this blurb to see what he means by that. Injuries again have noticeably impacted the Memphis Grizzlies' rotation, but it's getting harder and harder to discern what the plan will be when or if this roster gets healthy. We talked about this yesterday. Their rotation, despite missing 3 rotation players last night, they played 10 guys and all got extended minutes. Is this recently converted to a standard deal Jay Huff a mainstay? The product of Zach Edey needing a treadmill? Oof. Yikes. Or Jaren Jackson Jr.'s minutes restriction? Does this mark a new normal for Marcus Smart? The normal being a sub 35% clip on 2s and sub 20% hit rate on 3s and fewer minutes per game. So, baseball, there's teams like the Tampa Bay Rays across the league where it's like, if the Tampa Bay Rays want to get rid of this guy, or if the Tampa Bay Rays want to trade for this guy, what does that mean? Like, GMs should be asking themselves that question. If they want to get rid of this guy, that's concerning. Or if they want this guy on my team, what am I missing? The Celtics, I feel like, are like that. Oh, the Celtics are in a championship window and they're just looking to get rid of Marcus Smart. What am I missing here? What am I missing? The Marcus Smart trade might be bad, folks. What is Santi Aldama to the rotation when others return and aren't on a minutes cap when Edey isn't in foul trouble? Is he a 4, maybe a 5, perhaps even a 3 or something like a 3.9? Santi Aldama's had a good start to the season, and he is interesting. I've always kind of liked him. Yeah, they have a weird rotation thing. Absolutely. I agree with that. I don't really know what the overreaction is, though. Miami Heat, the overreaction. Tyler Hero is embracing a permanent evolution on the offensive end. Again, I said this earlier. The Heat are the one team I have yet to watch a game of. I can't believe I have it. But we'll get into the Heat. We'll dive in. Milwaukee Bucks, the overreaction. The sky's falling. Oh, shit. Right now, we don't have an identity. Giannis Antetokounmpo said after the Milwaukee Bucks lost to the Brooklyn Nets on Sunday. Like, how are we going to win the game? Are we going to defend for 48 minutes? Are we going to move the ball for 48 minutes? Are we going to attack and play fast for 48 minutes or 36 minutes and slow down the last 12? We got to find an identity. We don't have that right now. Man in the mirror. Man in the mirror. A lot of that has to do with you, buddy. Just being honest. Just being honest, Giannis. Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely calling out the coaching staff a little bit. Yeah, this is a great tweet, actually. Everybody blaming Doc Rivers for the Bucks' general ineptitude because it's easy and fun. I'm more concerned that this group is on their third coach in 3 years, and the last basketball they played under each of them had the vibe of a wet fart. At this point, it's not the coaches. That's very fair. They do have an identity. They're a Doc Rivers team. That's true. That's fair. Minnesota Timberwolves, overreaction. They won the Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle trade, even though Dante DiVincenzo isn't consistently nailing threes yet. Yeah, Julius Randle's looked really good for them so far, and Dante DiVincenzo will get going from three. What is he shooting from three? He hasn't been good yet. He was basically a nothing in that game against the Mavs last night. Like, you barely even knew he was on the court. He made a couple of nice defensive plays here and there. He's at 26% from three on 7.5. Oh, yeah, that'll turn. That'll turn around. But, yeah, I definitely overreacted to that trade for sure. Pelicans, this offense is cooked. Yeah, agreed. We just talked about that. I don't even think that's an overreaction. They play a time capsule offense in a league that has far surpassed that. You just have to get threes up, man. You have to shoot threes. It's like not even an option anymore. And I do get the frustration with, like, back in the day, people used to win in different ways. By the way, that's not fucking true. Okay? The NBA has always, forever been a copycat league. Always, since the beginning of the inception of the league. It has been a copycat league. Every team copies the other team, the team that just won. Pelicans currently, this is actually crazy. The Pelicans are 26 in three-point attempts per game at 30. That's not even that low. The Knicks are dead last, by the way, at 28. Some of these numbers will tick up for these teams, but you look at these teams in the bottom. Knicks, well, we expect them to be good, but they gotta shoot more threes. The Raptors, we expect them to be bad. Spurs, we expect them to be bad. Nuggets, this was a big concern for them entering the season. And the Pelicans and Nuggets are tied with 30. And that's what I agree as well. It's like, yes, teams are shooting a lot of threes, but that doesn't mean they're all playing the same way. New York Knicks, the Karl Anthony Towns trade was a mistake. Ooh, okay, that's an overreaction. Now that's an overreaction. I like it though, but it is an overreaction this early into the season. They need to get comfortable. Now, if we're in January and it's like, why did Cat have 7 shots last night? Then it's a little concerning. That's when we could start to be a little concerned with what's going on. But let's give it some time though. Oklahoma City Thunder, this is the best defense of all time. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Best defense ever? That's an overreaction. But yeah, they're fucking good. They're good. Now, who have they played, though? And again, they're going to be great. I'm not poo-pooing any of that. Who have they played? They played the Nuggets. They've only played lottery teams. See, DQ in the chat said they've only played lottery teams. He's a Nuggets fan. So you see, that's the type of self-hate. That's the type of self-hate that we're talking about. Nuggets, Bulls, Hawks. Okay. And I will say the Hawks played them pretty well up until the fourth quarter. I mean, this defense is crazy because in the fourth quarter, man, their defense just turned into a million. Orlando Magic. A pretty ridiculous drought is about to end. What's the ridiculous drought? It turns out the Orlando Magic may have enough offense after all. Shame on all of me, who claimed otherwise. Me. Orlando ranks top 5 in points scored per possession. Nice. What is the Oh, what's their drought? Okay, that's what it is. At any rate, the Magic are currently on track to finish in the top half of offensive efficiency for the first time since the 2011-2012 season. That's crazy, man. That is insane. It could happen. It could happen. The Magic, if they are like knocking out top 10 in offense, we really have to rethink. The Orlando Magic. Philadelphia 76ers. Caleb Martin and Andre Drummond are going to start more games than Joel Embiid and Paul George. Oh, man. I mean, the Paul George one, probably not. Probably not. I mean, there's no way Paul George misses 40-plus games. Well, I say no way. Maybe. Embiid? Do we think Embiid plays 40 games this year? Like, that's what this means, that Embiid only plays 40 games. I don't know, maybe. Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant is going to text Phoenix Suns governor Matt Ishbia in January demanding a trade, citing MPGs. What? No, this one is crazy. This one just feels like Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, trade. Pencil that one in. Oh, but they're saying he's playing too many minutes per game. I do think that they're asking a little too much out of him, but I don't know. This doesn't seem fair. Kevin Durant's the ultimate competitor, man. I don't think he has a problem with playing a lot of minutes. Portland Trailblazers. Trade Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant already. Good Lord. Jeremy Grant's been good for them, but I think this will be the year they trade him. Anthony Simons, I'm not entirely sure. Sacramento Kings. Keon Ellis made fun of head coach Mike Brown's roar behind his back, and Mike Brown find out. Yeah, Keon Ellis is in the doghouse for some reason. Kevin Huerter's been playing well, for sure. But I thought Keon Ellis kind of made sense with what they had going on. I'm not entirely sure what the Mike Brown's roar thing is. Oh, okay, never mind. I get it now. Is it raining outside? What is this sound I'm hearing in the background? San Antonio Spurs. The turnover issues are here to stay. Spurs are going to be a bad team. I mean, it is what it is. Raptors. RJ Barrett is the second most important player of the Toronto Raptors' future. Is that really an overreaction? I mean, just looking at their team, Scotty Barnes obviously number one. I mean, who would be number two? Just on this roster. I mean, him or Quickly? Utah Jazz. The best player on the next Utah Jazz team is not on this year's Utah Jazz team. Or the best player on the next good Utah Jazz team is not on this year's Utah Jazz team. The best player. That's probably fair. That's probably fair. I guess they're assuming that Lowry's getting traded at some point. Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards are about to be the Charlotte Bobcats. Yeah. They're bad. Taylor Hendricks I mean, they're saying like a good team. I don't know what they mean by good, like a playoff team. Keontae George or Taylor Hendricks. I feel like you have to be stretching reality a little bit to think they could be the best player on a playoff team in the West. Lowry maybe could be if you like really built a solid team around him. But I think they're saying the best player is a young guy that's waiting to get drafted. All right, let's the Mavs one was the second best team in the Western Conference. Busy slate of games tonight, folks. Also, we're a week away from the election. Nope. That's going to be fun and horrible at the same time. But, I mean, we can't lie. It's going to be funny. Chaos will ensue no matter what happens. I already think we're fucked. Like, we're way past the point of no return in a lot of ways. So, anyways, here's the slate of games tonight. Raptors and Hornets tip off at 6 p.m. Lakers and Cavaliers. Whoa! That's a good one. That is it. We should have flexed that one. They have Celtics and Pacers on ESPN, a conference finals rematch. Get that shit off. The Celtics are going to win that game by 55 points. Get that shit off. Lakers, Cavs is what we want. Pistons and Sixers. It's kind of a hilarious game. Hawks and Wizards. Hawks looking for revenge. They just lost to the Wizards. They got to get their get back. Knicks and Heat. We'll keep tabs on that game for sure. Magic and Bulls. Nets and Grizzlies. Spurs, Thunder. That's kind of fun. That's on ESPN. Pelicans and Warriors. Again? So the Pelicans, this will be their 5th game of the season. After tonight, they'll play 5 games, 2 of them against the Blazers, 2 of them against the Warriors. Weird scheduling. Trailblazers and Clippers conclude the late slate. I will be on playback.tv tonight watching them. And if you're on Spotify, leave a review. I love you. Goodbye. Probably be live. I think for playback when the Mavs aren't playing, I think I'll probably hop on around 7:30ish. That way, games are already going on. We can sort of figure out, hey, this game's been crazy. Let's tune in here. And also, that way I'm not live for 6 hours. So, yeah. Dropping a video later today about Luka and how hilarious he is. Make sure you guys gas that up. Again, be on the lookout. Membership coming soon. I don't know how I want to do it yet. Do I want to do it through YouTube or do I want to do Patreon? I'm not entirely sure. Does YouTube have, this goes to show how little research I've done on this. Does YouTube have like a native member thing similar to Patreon? Where like there's a members only page? Or something? No Clay video yet? I mean, the first video of the season was basically about Clay. But tomorrow we're doing a non-Mavs video. We have to. But after last night, I mean, how can you talk about anybody else besides Luka? After that hilarious ass shot. Anyways, thank you all for coming out. All of the OGs, you guys, I love you very much. You could have spent your Wednesday morning in You're in the World. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that, but it helps out tremendously. Makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be live on playback.tv/slightlybiased tonight. Video dropping later. I will chat with you a lot later. I love you. Bye.